nobody there. Oh, there I go. Slight delay. Look at that. I thought for a second there we were going to have to reboot the whole system. And it's a whole screen of me again. Once again, they're making me tap dance all by myself. Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It is another episode of MBartist Alley Live. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and we are also on the Collector's Toy Box. And if you're tuning in with me, thank you. We appreciate it. So hopefully soon, some of our artists will be joining us in the chat. If you're new to it, what we do, essentially, we're just chit-chatting. So for the first hour, my friends will come in, Joe Rubenstein, Jamie, Mustafa, all the guys should be dropping in any second now. There we go. Joe!
Hello.
Oh, look who it is. Joe has been assigned the sidekick seat.
No, I don't. Goodbye.
Oh, you're not going to do that. Don't be like that.
Not a sidekick to you.
Well, fine. I'll leave then. I'll see you later. How about you run the show?
I'm going to do a double McLeod and stay for half an hour.
All right. Sounds good. I hope you don't expect change.
Right. You really have to want to change. So, all right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll be your sidekick, and I'll let you run the show. How about that?
Is anybody else here?
Not yet. It's just me and you, my friend.
Oh, all right. Well,
I think what's going on. I think usually Mustafa and Jamie are juggling around to see who gets the sidekick's chair, and I think today neither of them wanted the role. Oh, look at that! Number 2, Mr. Hebert. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. And we all know the world always treats me like number 2, so here I am.
Wow. You're witty for a fireman.
There's a compliment.
Yeah. John's the only fireman that goes, let it burn.
Pretty much. Cellar saver.
Who brought marshmallows?
That's right. Who brought them?
Less government. Don't let those firemen tell you what you can do at your house.
That's right.
So we were just getting into the opening of the everything. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Just like that. I thought I was going to be stuck all by myself, but we got 2 artists with us. The legendary inker and phenomenal painter. If you haven't seen any of Joe's paintings, I highly suggest it. Joe Rubenstein and Punisher and excellent artist, John Hebert.
Hang on, guys.
Oh.
I think my paintings are highly suggestive. So,
I think so. Oh, Jamie.
How's it going?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
Highly suggestive.
Pop artist specialist Jamie Coker. Jamie, you didn't win the sidekick seat today.
Technical difficulties.
It's all good. It's all good. So, anyways, as I was saying, everybody, thank you for coming. Luke is already with us. He was right from the beginning, and he wanted to know if I was going to have to sing to get one of you guys to jump on. But thank you, everybody, for coming. We are, as I said, on YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook and the Collector's Toy Shop. And essentially what we do for the first hour is we just do a little chitty chat. And then what we also do is we ask you guys to ask your questions, make your comments, and at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock, that might be different wherever you are in your neck of the woods, like Jamie and Joe. At the top of the hour, we will go through your comments and questions, and each comment and question. So we encourage you to just drop as many as you want. You will get a ticket into a giveaway that you have to be here to win at the end of the show. And let's show them what they could win. One of our fabulous featured art prints. Here's our 9, and we have a motif today. Gentlemen, let's see if you can guess what the motif is. We're going to start with Bob McLeod, Craven's Hunt, Part 5. We've got The Joker by Chad Harden. We've got the Sailor Moon Batman mashup featuring Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. I don't even know what the counterparts' names are. Francine can tell us when she gets here. Jamie, talk to me about this one, my friend.
Oh yeah, Planet Comics. The original cover was pretty cool, but I wanted the bad guy to be a little more menacing, looking like he's a little more threatening and about really to, just tear some stuff apart. So went with a lot more, tried to ramp up the drama on it, and there was some concern because originally. There was thought about the foot or knee on the gentleman in the cover, and decided to change it a little bit so it wasn't quite as provocative. And I don't know. I just had fun doing the tentacle arms. Was pretty much like my favorite part of the piece.
Yes, he definitely has his tentacles wrapped right around the femme fatale there. All right, we're gonna move on.
The more I look at it, the more I think they kind of look like earthworms.
It's Earthworm Jim's redheaded stepchild. All right, the next one. We've got the DC Mulligans, Bugs Bunny versus the Crusher. And maybe we'll have
by.
Yeah, just passing by.
Just passing by.
Albuquerque. Mr. Rubenstein, can you tell us a little bit about this piece?
I started it. It was a total failure within about a minute and a half. I put it aside and I went, maybe there's something I can salvage. And then I started to work on it.
I love this piece. Question: how did you achieve the splatter effect?
Probably by taking my brush and tapping it.
Oh, you do the tap with your regular brush, not a toothbrush?
On that one, because I thought I was a painter on that one. If it was comic books, I probably would use a toothbrush.
Very cool. All right, so we've got Superman, Bizarro Happy, Bizarro Sad. And then we have this one, Mr. Hebert.
Yeah, Planet Comics again. That was a lot of fun. I love the premise, and I hate snakes, so this was kind of an exercise in trying to draw something I really didn't like. I thought the premise was great. The scenario was great. I just thought the actual original art was a little shaky in some places, especially the android crashing through the wall was really, really clunky and hokey. The Medusa looking surgeon there, he's got a total Joker vibe. So that was pretty much a no-brainer. There weren't a lot of changes there. The main changes were in the background. Excuse me, the android and the girl, her position was just kind of awkward, but I loved it. In the background, I basically changed to like a Roger Dean type scenario.
I got two questions for you, sir. Number one, in your mind, is the Medusa character male or female?
Male.
And what is he planning to do with that snake?
I don't know. I think he's gonna cut a hole in her head and shove the snake in there.
In her head?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. It really doesn't make any sense. He's wielding a scalpel and a snake, so I don't know.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got Mustafa Musa's Thanos courting death.
That's nice.
Hey, he owes me $1.
And then finally, ditty I did for Nelvana for Tales of the Crypt Keeper. All right, so those are our 9. Let's throw up all 9 again. And we have a theme today. We did a theme. And Jamie, this one should be right up your alley. Can you take a wild guess what our theme is today?
Villains?
Villains. Today we're going to talk about the bad guy. If you guys got any of your favorite bad guys, just drop it in to the comments section. Essentially, guys, I wanted to, now that we've kind of run through the gambit of what all our entire catalog.
You said gambit, you owe me $1 also.
Ah.
All right, I'll just put it. I'll just put it on the list. It's getting pretty long, by the way. Is that CAT or UST?
You owe Joe a Buick.
Yeah. I used to date her. Hey, you want to see a commission I did, which since I won't be here long?
Sure.
Remember when he was a bad guy? Or maybe he still is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What's the medium on that?
Grease pencil and watercolor.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool. The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, that's the second time we had a Hulk commission. Last week, James showed his Hulk.
But the judge made him promise to not do that again.
I got arrested for that once in
Yes,
Atlantic City, so there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, look who's a little taughty today. Mustafa Musa, inker for DC and Marvel. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Sorry for the tardiness.
So
okay.
you're an inker, so you
Give a
put down
note?
the colors?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly it. Yeah.
He only does black and white.
Yep.
So today we have a theme, Mustafa. We're talking about the bad guy, villains.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do is just kind of open it up in terms of, let's start with something real simple. I don't want to limit it to just, I want to start with your favorites, and then I want to dive into the psychology of why the bad guys are more fun. Maybe it'll help me figure out why I was so bad at dating. So, Joe, favorite villain of all time. And guys out there, if you have any questions, just drop it into the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's Dr. Doom. What else is there?
Why Doom?
He's unhinged. He's powerful. There's sort of a controversy about him. Like, after he had the explosion on his face, did he have one little line of scar that made him put on the mask, or was he horribly disfigured, and that's why he put on the mask? So John Byrne, being John Byrne, decided that he took one of his masks, heated it up like a waffle iron, and then stuck it on his face. So,
but wasn't the original intent from Stan Lee and Kirby was that he was so vain it was literally just going to be a line on his cheek?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they ever made that completely clear. So
yeah, I think one of them wanted it just to be a little, blemish or imperfection. Yeah. And the other one, horribly disfigured. I think Stan Lee wanted the horribly disfigured.
And also, don't forget, in second place, the Red Skull, who was a bellboy that Hitler said, I can take anybody and turn them into whatever the hell he turned them into.
That was great.
So the moral of that story is tip your bellboy.
They're working hard for you.
John, favorite villain?
Oh gosh, I always like the Joker. Everybody likes the Joker because he's maniacal. He gets to cut loose and say things that nobody else gets to. Kind of like all the heels in wrestling. They're cooler because they're edgy and you don't know what they're going to do. And he's an agent of chaos. I don't like much of what they've done with Joker the past few years. I think it's nonsense. There have been so many versions of the Joker that all work. I don't think the current ones do, no matter what the fans say. And editorial says. I liked him. And another one, there's a villain that only appeared a couple times in the 70s I loved that I thought I could have done something with. And his name was Colonel Sulfur. He had a knife in his hand. I just read they're bringing him back in the Batman books now. I always thought that he was like a third-rate, opening match kind of wrestling sort of villain, but you could have done something with him.
Yeah, but the problem when you show up in a comic book is some hero would go, somebody fart. I mean, it's like it would stop all the action.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, John, did you like it when they turned Hulk Hogan from a bad guy to a good
guy? No. He was a heel.
Okay.
I grew up watching the big brutes who couldn't work should be heels. That's all there is to it.
Are we talking about the first time when he was Thunderlips and he turned a hero, or the second time when he went back from NWO and brought back the red and the yellow?
When he went from Thunderlips to a hero in the AWA, and then McMahon threw him all kinds of money and brought him to the WWF and made him an icon. He was a heel. He couldn't work. He was just supposed to be a big power guy who fought guys like Andre the Giant and Blackjack Mulligan. He shouldn't have been champion.
There you go. Well, here's an interesting. You made a comment there about the Joker, how you don't like the current modern iteration of it. Did you? Anybody here happen to read the Three Jokers?
No.
The miniseries where basically they broke them apart: golden, silver, and modern.
Was it good?
I have no idea. I have it sitting at home. I have a stack like this. But the census was that it was disappointing. But the premise of it was kind of neat. It's just too bad they didn't. I'll have to read it now and let you know now that I've opened my big mouth. Jamie, villain, You're
Well, there's all the obviously the Joker. There's a big one, but I like the villains that have they're evil, but there is a sense that they could be good, and sometimes they embrace the goodness in them, like Magneto and Darth Vader. Magneto obviously got the tragic backstory, everything like that. He is so convinced in his philosophy about how mutants should be the dominant species on the planet that he is willing to go to nearly any lengths to make this thing happen. And sometimes your best villains are the ones that in some way you kind of sympathize with them, even though they are evil and do evil things and hurt people, kill people, what have you. But on some level, you're like, I kind of get it. Vader, and I mean, Magneto's gone back and forth from good to bad. Vader, he's just, it's a little tougher after the prequels because, you know, he was manipulated into becoming what he became, but at the same time, when you watch those original movies, you also feel like the Jedi failed him on so many levels. So that was the product of their failure. And at the very end, he turned into a good guy, you know, and destroyed until the follow-up movies. And I don't know. I mean, those guys, just the duality of their spirit, their characters, is something that appeals to me.
Don't you think he should have been punished anyway? I mean, I'm glad you found Jesus, but you did kill a planet.
Yeah.
Kill a planet. Yeah. He slaughtered kids. He was back there for 5 minutes and turned into kindergarten slayer.
Right. Oh, you took off your helmet. All is forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of his son. Like I think the whole story of Darth Vader in the prequel completely missed opportunity because he was supposed to be a fellow. Like it was supposed to be the fall of the good guy, and it basically just turned into an exercise on selling toys. It was so watered down, and they were so afraid to go dark. Like I remember when Episode 3, Lucas championed. Oh my God, it's the first Star Wars that's gonna get that might step outside of a PG-13, and there was no there.
And of course, as I said before, Peter David said in that third one, when you first see him on the, you know, that whole Frankenstein putting the gear on him bit, and he's first Darth Vader, and he asks what happened to Padme, and whoever it is says she's dead, and he does that scream, no! Peter David said it would have been so much better if he just went, good. That would have made the movie for me, you know?
Well, you know, when you look at 40s movies, and they have bad guys like Basil Rathbone, who's like cackles like me, you know? Yep. And then you have George Sanders, who's in the carriage, and they run over the peasant kid, and they say, excuse me, Your Highness, but we just killed a child. It says, so, keep moving. You know, it's like the disdain for the whole thing is what makes it evil.
Right. Mustafa. Oh, look who just joined us. Francine Delgado.
Party can start.
Hello, everybody.
We're talking about villains today. So we're just at Mustafa. Mustafa's going to tell us. Mustafa, who's your favorite villain?
Well, okay. So, yeah, Joker and Dr. Doom are obvious. And I think what I like about Joker is, like, you can tell so many different stories. Maybe they're not all good, but you can tell a bunch of different origin stories, a bunch of different, like, last, story he'll ever have. White Knight came out a few years ago. White Knight was actually pretty good. You should check it out if you're a car guy at all. It's a great.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They have every single Batmobile, and it's based on real Batmobiles, based on real cars and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
I think it's an ad for that with some old classic.
I'll just say Megatron and Starscream. There's somebody. I like their dynamic. They just need to get a house together.
Is there a parallel between Megatron and Starscream and Destro and Cobra Commander?
Well, I mean, same voice, but other than that, yeah, there's a little bit, isn't there?
Well, they flip a little bit. The voice of Starscream, whose second command is the leader in G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but he's just so whiny. I love it. Yeah.
You know that voice is actually he's a stand-up comedian.
Chris Latta?
Yeah, the voice. He was a stand-up comedian, and he was approached by the guy who was developing the series for was it GI Joe? What was first, GI Joe or Transformers?
I think they were
Joe.
both. I think it was Transformers first. No.
Yeah, it was Transformers, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. 84. Wasn't GI Joe 82?
I don't know. Anyway,
Toys
continue.
came out in 82.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But the Transformers came out first, and then the first season of GI Joe, right?
It was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, he was a stand-up comedian.
Chris Latta. I had no idea.
Yep. Francine, we're talking about bad guys or bad girls. Who's your favorite?
Well, I guess the first we established that if there is not a bad guy, the story sucks. So basically, a bad guy makes the good guys even better. So I love this subject, and I have some favorite ones. Like I think one of my favorite bad guys of all the time for me is Hades from Hercules the movie. Damn, that's a good bad guy. Or even Scar from Lion King. Like he's willing to kill his own brother to get what he wants. He has clear what he wants. I think stop him. And I imagine you were talking about bad guys from comics. So since you probably already said like the Joker and all the Batman bad guys that are my favorites in comics. That's why I'm going to use some of my favorites from animation, because it doesn't matter if it's a movie, if it's a comic, if it's an animated feature or whatever. Bad guys are like the best. So yeah, I love bad guys, and those two from animation are my favorites. 80s and Scar. Those are great bad guys.
So is Galactus a bad guy?
I think it just depends how you read the story, how you create. Because if you see the story from his point of view, he's not that bad. But it depends on the story.
Hitler didn't think he was a bad guy either, from his point
Right.
of view. But the fact is that Galactus goes, "I'm really hungry. I should survive. Oh, I know. I'll kill a planet." It's like,
Yeah, but
that
they establish
justifies
that?
anything.
Well, they established that Galactus is a force of nature. Just as much as a forest fire. A forest fire.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Hey, I
And
don't.
I know you're talking about when he's hungry, he annihilates entire planets. But when you're hungry, don't you kill a pig to eat? And for the pig, his entire life was his life, and you just end it. So for the Galactus, he just ended a planet.
Pig entire planet. Pig entire planet. Let me think about that.
That's
Okay.
it depends.
Yeah, but if you're
People are gonna take me here.
is Galactus to us no different than us killing a mosquito?
I kill a mosquito because it's going to affect me.
Okay, what about if the mosquito is the hero of the story, and if you're looking the story from the mosquito point of view? From the mosquito point of view, you are the mosquito Galactus.
Galactus. I'm going to get a big Pope hat, and I'm just going to go randomly step on anthills. Except I'll do it in the skirt, like in his first appearance. In his first appearance, Galactus had bare legs, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, very cool. So for me, I kind of like the villains that basically they have that pinpointed ideology, and it just kind of goes off, like Mr. Freeze. Like the reason why he is the way he is he did everything he did out of love, and it kind of went wrong. When you see the difference
like
between,
like Vader.
Yeah, except I think Freeze was better thought out.
Okay.
The thing about Darth Vader is that it could have been so much better. Like the dialogue was so cheesy and so ham-fisted that it really diluted what it could have been. Like the Jedi, he was so worried about crossing lines that the Jedi Order, unless it was said in dialogue, you didn't really get that. Basically, they were so rigid in their ways. You know what I mean? There was no flex in the prequels, which is now being appropriately addressed through comics and cartoons. If you watch the Clone Wars, or if you read the new Marvel line, the Darth Vader series, it flushes out the character of Anakin Skywalker so much better. and gives him so much better context in terms of his depth and why he fell than the prequels ever did.
First time you ever heard of and saw Darth Vader, did you realize his first name wasn't Darth?
No.
Because I didn't know it was a rank. How would
Yeah.
we know it was Captain General Darth? You know.
Yeah, in the beginning, I think a lot of people thought that was just his name, and then of course by the second movie you figured that out. But then I remember a lot of people in theater coming out of the first time I saw Star Wars talking about the black robot. They didn't even get he was a human being. I remember going, he's breathing. Do you hear the, did you hear the
Right.
sucking wind? Robot wouldn't do that.
I think Star Wars was so innovative. There's so much in there that if you didn't have an open mind concept, or if you couldn't grasp science fiction in general, a lot of it was taken verbatim. It's almost like, think of Drax watching Star Wars. Like the character Drax, taking everything verbatim. In that time period, I bet you a lion's share of the people, they were just so blown away with the eye candy and the innovation, the depth of it was lost.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we actually have a pretty cool question here in terms of, is there a villain Basil asks, other than being impressed with Mustafa's haircut, is there a villain you feel should have been portrayed as a hero instead of the bad guy? So who do you think who's the villain that actually should have been the hero?
Oh,
like,
boy.
I bet you a lion's share of people feel that Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet actually had a proper point of view. Instead of wiping out half of humanity, he probably should have just doubled the resources.
A lion's share? So you think over 50% of the people out there agree with Thanos?
I bet you.
That's stupid.
Probably.
No.
Have you seen our world?
Wouldn't
People are
surprise
filling
me.
up plastic bags with gas. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm gonna go as far as 85% in my fire department. Hit 95%.
So
If you had a pickup truck, 100%.
So does anybody feel like there's a bad guy out there that should have been the good guy?
I think that guy is well written, and if you're telling the story from his point of view, you could probably feel not feel that he's the good guy now, but feel related to the bad guy in some sense, like if they are good written, like the story of this guy, and they told the story not from the hero point of view but from the bad guy point of view, you will understand his reasons. Not that you agree with them, but you at least will understand. And when that happens, this is a character that is relatable, it's a character well written, it's a good bad guy. Because sometimes they were like these bad guys that they are just like bad because they want to do bad, but when you start like understanding what the reasons are, and you go like kind of see like the prequel of how he became bad guy, it's not like he's gonna be the good guy of the story, but at least you will resonate with his reasons. Is that I am like being clear what I think, or I just suck at what I'm saying?
Well, it's a lot like if you think about their philosophies. Like if you distill the argument between Xavier versus Magneto in a more pragmatic world, is Magneto right?
From Magneto point of view, okay, imagine you are not human. Imagine you are mutant, and you are being chased for whom you are. So wouldn't you agree with this guy like to defend yourself? That's what I'm saying. It depends how the story is being written. Oh my God, I'm playing like the devil's advocate here, right?
Well, it's the same thing with Frankenstein. Look at this: Frankenstein, who is actually the first monster story, but probably also there you go.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
What is that? What's that? Is that
it's a Wrights and Frankenstein I'm inking.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Is that
cool.
a commission?
What?
Is that a commission?
Yeah, sure. I don't do anything for fun.
Oh my God, Joe.
What's fun? I have none of that. I work all the time.
That's right. And you have children.
Francie, do you remember Joe's snare drum? No. All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So, is there anybody out there that? How about let's flip it around? Does anybody feel like there was a villain that they turned into a hero that just doesn't make sense and doesn't work?
Banshee.
Banshee. That's a
He
deep
was
cut.
villain.
I don't know if he doesn't work or not, but Submariner started out as a bad guy, and he was certainly a formidable one.
Submariner's a big one. Yeah, he's back and forth. Yep.
Punisher.
Yeah, but in the Submariner,
Punisher.
his loyalties are always his loyalty is always clear. Like whether he's doing right or wrong, it's whatever's in the best interest of Atlantis. Correct?
Sure.
Am I asking too deep?
There's like Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, he has his objective clear. He wants to save the green. If that means harm humans, he will do that. Sometimes that means protect humans because he's protecting the green as well. So,
Like
I have to go. Sorry,
All right,
I got a thing. Okay.
all right,
Bye.
bye.
ciao,
See you, Joe.
Joe. That's great seeing you.
Thank you.
So there's one bad guy I think that shouldn't have been turned into a good guy, and that's
Joe
Joe
Rubenstein? Oh, sorry.
Joe? Rubenstein?
Like, what about Deadpool? Didn't Deadpool and Harley Quinn are two prime examples on Marvel and DC who were bad guys, and they're both originally written to be insane characters, and because they became so popular, they flipped them over. Was it forced? Like every character's journey to change has to have some sort of arc or series of obstacles. Were theirs justified?
They're going that way with Poison Ivy too, because she is an environmentalist, and basically her interests are more or less just and noble. It's just that she goes about what she wants in the wrong manner.
Well, it's the same with the Dark Knight Returns. Wasn't the Joker right? Like his philosophies are actually accurate. It's just how we went about them.
What are you talking about?
The Heath Ledger Batman Returns. Oh wait, no, that's the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. You got me confused when you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which one was that one? The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. There's too many damn Batman movies.
Okay.
The Christian Bale Heath Ledger one.
Uh-huh.
Where his whole philosophy was, it doesn't matter what you do. If you put a person in an instinctual position, they're always going to choose self-interest over the greater good.
Well, but then he was proven wrong at the end with the boats, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. It was a boring scene, but it was still necessary. Yeah.
Okay, interesting thing to think is like, will that be realistic? Will that happen in real life, or we will choose being selfish?
Is there any heroes that switched to being a villain that really just rubbed you the wrong way?
Let me think, because I think that yes, there are, of course. So let me think.
I'll give you one that completely threw me for a loop, and it took me like 4 or 5 issues, and that was when they made Superman the villain, when he ripped out the Joker's spinal column. And like when I read that and he started going down that road, I kept reading it because I was so angry at it.
Well, what about when they turned Green Lantern? When they made Hal Jordan a bad guy? Boy, there were people upset about that. Not only did they turn him bad, suddenly he aged. Suddenly he had gray hair.
Yeah.
And boy, there was a lot of backlash about that one, and justifiably so. Same thing as to go to the movies. That first Mission Impossible movie, it made me sick when they turned Phelps into a bad guy. He was the villain of the whole thing. Although it made it more palatable, he was a bad guy because it was John Voight, and I can't stand John Voight. But I mean, you spent most people when they thought of Mission Impossible until that point, they thought of Phelps as the leader, the Captain America looking guy, even though he wasn't the original leader. And we're going, if they had to have this and turn the mentor, the guy who'd been running the whole program, make it Briggs, the original leader. That would explain why he just disappeared and never came back. You know, he was doing other things. Then he came back with his machinations because he wasn't getting rich. For those of you who don't know, the original leader of the first year of Mission Impossible was Dan Briggs, who was Stephen Hill, who was the DA on Law and Order forever. And he quit after one season or was fired and didn't act until he came back to do a Schwarzenegger movie. And then he became a thing again. But that bothered me. It would have been like, you know, doing a reboot of like MASH or something and having Hawkeye or Trapper be a bad guy, you know? They're really a communist spy or something. That really bothered me.
Jamie, how about you? Any story where the good guy actually turned evil and it just rubbed you the wrong way?
I remember hearing about this thing. Was it Daredevil? At one point, was like he became like the big crime boss in Hell's Kitchen or something like that. I heard about it. I never read it because as soon as I heard about it, I was like, okay, I don't want to hear anymore. This sounds terrible.
Right.
I'm not interested at all. That was something that really stuck with me.
That was an alternate world. That was the Spider-Gwen world where they revealed Daredevil as Kingpin.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, not interested at all when I heard that.
Oh man, I would love to read that one. Because I think I love prequels and I really like alter universe. Like what happened if whatever you think it is not, but because I think like anybody can be good and in everybody there is good and bad. We are not just heroes or we are not just villains. Like it depends on a lot that happen in your life that you go one way or the other. So can Daredevil become the Kingpin? Of course. If his life is not what it is in the comics you read, but it's something else, he could go wrong at any point. And I love to hear those stories. So I'm gonna look for that one.
So let's do some imagining there. We're all artists. We like to be creative. I'm sure everybody here knows the What If series that Marvel did. And if you look at all the Marvel what ifs, they eventually become regular canon anyways. At some point, Spider-Man did join Fantastic Four. At some point, Thor did become whatever his girlfriend's name is.
Jane Foster.
Yeah, Jane Foster did become Thor. If you could do a what if, and it could be like a hero to the villain or a villain to the hero. If you could do a what if in the Marvel universe, what would it be? And guys, if you have any, drop down who your favorite villains. And if you got a what if scenario, throw it down there because we want to hear from you and we want your input into the conversation. Does anybody have a what if?
That haven't been done yet? Wait a second.
Well, you could do a what if that did happen and maybe put a different spin in it.
What if I still had a career?
John.
Oh, John, so pessimistic.
I don't know. How about that pivotal moment when Spider-Man accidentally killed the Green Goblin before they rewrote it? What if that never happened? Or what if he legitimately killed him with his bare hands? There's an interesting story. You know, when he killed Gwen.
Yeah.
And Spidey ducked out of the glider. They kind of bastardized it in the movie and it wasn't as good. I mean, that's a seminal moment in comics. That was just great. They kept him dead for a long time and then he got better. So
just out of curiosity in the comic, because I never read the comic.
Okay.
But I did see the Amazing Spider-Man 2. When in the original comic, when he web slings Gwen, does she literally snap her spinal column?
Her neck snap, yeah.
Yeah.
Her neck snaps.
Yeah, you see a little snap on the panel and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of reading, I always thought in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they really kind of washed over the guilt that he should have had. Like that. There's
You're saying it's not a good movie? Yes, that's correct.
Yes, it's not a good movie. But,
but it is him the hottest Spider-Man? Yes, it is.
He's a good Spider-Man. And she's a good Gwen Stacy, and they had great chemistry in that movie.
I liked him because I said, you know, this is not the high school Spider-Man. This is the one who should be the college one, who was about the period when Gwen died. If you read that, and that was right about the time I jumped on Spider-Man. The first book I ever bought was 100, the one where he grew the extra arms. you know, he wasn't the kid Peter Parker anymore. There's no question. He was an adult. And, you know, okay, Toby was in the first three, and then what's his name, Andrew or whatever his name was, and the next, you know, he worked. He was that sarcastic, the more loosened up Spider-Man now, you know, or Peter. You know, he wasn't a kid anymore. He'd grown. And I liked that when I saw that. And of course it didn't last. But he definitely, if they had done that that story arc in the movie exactly as it was in the books, it absolutely could have worked with him. There's a great scene in that second part when Gwen dies, where she's laying on the docks, and he's just kind of mourning over, and the cops are coming up, and the rookie wants to like take him in, and the older seasoned cops like, you know, I can see a man in pain, back off, you know. And then finally Spidey just loses it. He's like, look, back off, and he ends up slugging. Yeah, there we go. And I mean, just the way he's kind of, you know, cradling her body and whatnot. It's like that scene in the first Superman movie when Lois had died and Superman's kind of cradling her and he's just trying to kind of bring her back. And then, of course, he goes back in time and does a red kryptonite thing. But that was a great moment. And that scene in Spider-Man was amazing. And then, of course, they ruined it. But if they'd done it exactly like that in the movie, that could have been cool.
Well, isn't there an opportunity? Because Gwen Stacy's dad was the chief of police. Wouldn't he want to like arrest Spider-Man? Because essentially,
he was already dead. He was already dead.
Oh, he was already dead at that time.
He was already dead at that point because he had revealed when he, in his death breath, he says, his last breath, he says, "Take care of her, Peter." He knew the whole time.
Right.
So,
did he look anything like Dennis Leary?
No, I mean, I kind of liked it when they cast Dennis, but he looked more like I don't know, what am I thinking of, like a Jimmy Stewart with a wig.
Right. Jamie, do you have a what if scenario?
Actually, I do. I'm thinking MCU Iron Man goes bad, and the about that is because look at the movies. A lot of the bad things that happen are all because of Stark. Ultron is because of Stark. The terrorists are able to overtake these regions and cause all this mayhem because of Stark technology. There's just so much that's connected to Stark, and even the Sokovia and the decline of the Avengers, Stark easily could have gone evil, and I would have bought it.
And he is a weapons manufacturer.
Would have bought it. All the groundwork was laid.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jamie was on a roll.
We lost him. We lost him, but he had a good idea.
But that exact what if did play out in the Superior Iron Man. I don't know if you guys followed that at all. After the Access, which I thought was a flop, and they flipped all the good guys bad and all the bad guys good. Iron Man was the one that got away. And he had the
talking about what if, one of my favorites, I think, what if, or I don't know if it was a what if or alternative universe or whatever, is on the X-Men when they have like the age of apocalypse. Yeah. And you have like Magneto leading like the resistance, and that was a great. I can I call it a what if? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. That was a great one. I always love like everything they create about it, like the new relationships they create, like and again, it's just like guys that were bad in the real universe, they changed just because the story was written different. So yeah, that is one of my favorites, Marvel what if.
Jamie, do you want to finish your thought there? The Iron Man?
Oh, sorry, I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties over here.
No, it's okay. We got that Iron Man.
Oh, just up to that point.
No. We got the full story because how the groundwork was laid. How he's a weapons manufacturer. He's responsible for so many things. Trying to put the suit around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the bad things because of him. Well, I'm just thinking that if you make him evil, you basically give a little more credence to the whole split for the Avengers from Civil War. And let's say the whole thing with Thanos happens and Iron Man comes back and he joins in the effort to repair things and he still dies at the end. I think it's a kind of a better journey, a little more interesting journey than what ended up happening.
Well, if you look at Civil War, they essentially framed Iron Man for being the villain there. And I got to be honest with you, when he found out that one line where he said, "I don't care, he killed my mom," I was with him. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Does anybody else feel the same way about how that Civil War played out? Mustafa, do you think Cap was right?
Team Cap. Yeah, Team Cap all the way. Yeah. Iron Man is wrong all the time. Captain America is literally never wrong. Like, yeah, Team Cap all the way. Actually, as far as what ifs go, I was going to say maybe if Captain America never got frozen. I'm sure they've probably done that story, but, you know, just the repercussions of it. Yeah, just the repercussions of it. Like, usually what if stories don't end very positively. And, like, if Captain America wasn't the influence for all the other superheroes, like, yeah, there'd be no Avengers. There'd be no people teamed up to face, you know, some threat, you know, worldwide.
Oh, something's coming up. What if? Yeah,
yeah.
there's a What If animated series coming up, so that should be exciting to see. Cool. Here's one. Does anybody have a villain that they think is underappreciated? Like we were talking about Doctor Doom, Joker, Magneto. These are all like the grade A beef villains. Like John suggested, who's the one character you said on Batman that had a knife for a hand that you thought? Do we lose John? John? We lost John. Does
Colonel Sulfur.
Underappreciated villains?
Colonel Sulfur, and he was just like a terrorist.
Right. There we go. John's back. Like for me, I always was partial to the Super Skrull. I just thought that was so cool.
To whom?
The Super Skrull? The Super Skrull was a Fantastic Four villain that he basically had all four of their powers. Like the traditional Skrull was a shapeshifter, and they basically genetically modified him infused him with the Fantastic Four's DNA so that he could emulate all four of their powers.
So imagine a stretchy, flaming, rocky fist.
That you don't take
Sounds like my firefighters. One of the best things they ever did with him was there was a Marvel team up. I think it was a 2-parter with Spidey and God, I can't remember who it was. Might have been the Torch against him, and Byrne drew it. It was just great.
Yeah, there he is, Super Skrull.
Because for all his powers, he was kind of he didn't have a lot of oomph until that story. They made him cool in that.
Yeah, I don't recall him.
Basil asked a cool question. Who is the hero villain in MBartist? I think we know who could be the villain.
Oh, guys.
I could turn at any moment.
You would be the Deadpool, John. You can go either way.
Hey, now. Now we're back to the fire department again.
There you go. Bring out the marshmallow. Mustafa, do you have a villain that you think's underappreciated that you like?
Are we talking about Joe Rubenstein, or is this the other question?
Oh, please, nobody likes Joe.
No.
Let's see, a villain that's underappreciated.
Yeah.
I always liked the ventriloquist from Batman. Like,
ventriloquist.
Yeah, he's so crazy. He runs a gang through like a puppet on his hand, and they start talking to the human and like, hey, it's me. Don't talk to the human, talk to the puppet. You know,
that's very cool. That's very cool.
Crazy.
Sounds like a politician.
Sure.
Francine, do you have an underappreciated villain?
Underappreciated. I don't know, because the ones that I remember, they are like kind of like the main ones. But I remember there was one Toyman or something like that, that is from Justice League.
Superman villain, right?
Superman villain.
Toyman, Superman villain, yeah.
Really?
I don't know, but there was like this funky guy that made toys, and the toys always want to kill people.
Yeah, that's Superman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of remember a little bit about him, but he was never like a big one. But I was thinking like Okay, he built toys. Imagine if he works in Christmas, he could literally kill so many people.
Well, when Byrne and Ordway were doing it, they really turned him into a serious killer. He murdered a kid. And that was kind of out of nowhere. He'd sort of been a lame villain until that point. And in fact, at one point, they had a second younger toy man who wore a costume and almost like a jester. I don't know if you remember that, and they did a battle of the Toymen and Superman back, God, when I was a kid in the 70s, almost like they did with the two vultures in Spider-Man. It was almost the same thing. But sometime in the 80s, again, when Ordway and Byrne and all those guys were doing Superman, yeah, the Toyman murdered this kid. And it was just like, wow, now he's a serious villain.
Okay, so I guess he is not that underappreciated after all. He has his own storyline.
I didn't see those stories. I don't remember ever seeing a lot of really great Toyman stories. So definitely could be do something with him. Yeah.
Oh, he's got a lot of potential.
Cool.
Yeah, Superman, he doesn't have the best villains, you know. After Luthor, it starts getting really skimpy in a hurry, you know.
And I like the one Brainiac from Superman.
Brainiac, yeah.
And that even, I don't know if in which comic, on which universe or whatever, but that one is like a very bad guy now, and like a trillion years in the future, he's a good guy. So he's also like a bad guy that became good.
That's because you got the update. Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. Bizarro. Is Bizarro a good guy or a bad guy?
He's a conflicted good guy, I think.
He is. People don't understand him, right, John? It's just not understood.
Misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
Yeah, that's the word.
He's special.
He's special.
I always thought he was DC's version of Forrest Gump.
I thought Frankenstein, but yeah.
No, that'd be somebody in editorial.
Yeah. Yeah, but in his dimension, he's the good guy, right? Because everything's backwards. What about Mixoplick? Is he underrated? Jamie, you're back. We were stalling.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Some real technical difficulties over this way.
That's all right, man. It's all good. We started. We were still on the underappreciated one, and we segued into how Superman had after Lex Luthor. There's a steep drop in terms of his rogues gallery. Here's one for you, and I know the two that's going to end up into a heated debate. Who has the best rogues gallery?
Oh, either Batman or
the Flash, one or the other.
Batman or Spider-Man.
That's where I was going. John,
Spider-Man too, yeah. Green Goblin.
Flash is a solid third, I think.
Flash has some pretty good ones though too.
Flash does, he does, yeah.
Okay, what's the Flash?
I'll give you that.
We've got
Spidey's got the Goblin, Magneto, the Hobgoblin, not Magneto, I'm sorry, Mysterio, the Hobgoblin, Ock, the Lizard, jeez. Craven.
Venom, Carnage.
Craven, Sinister Six.
What's that?
Sinister Six. Kingpin.
I'm losing you.
I think Batman has a deeper bench as far as villains go.
You think so?
Yeah. Batman
Spider-Man has a lot of great villains, but Batman just has more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the Batman story has always been like
Two-Face.
Man, it's just crazy.
John, you may want to step out and come back in. We're losing you a little bit, my friend.
Okay, I'll come back in.
Okay. Like from my point of view, like Joker is the number one. Like he's the top villain. But after you get past the Joker, I think you can go pound for pound and then it's like who has the deeper bench.
No, you have like Batman always people give the Joker like he's the best and yeah, he's super cool. But Batman has such a deep villains. Like Joker is cool and crazy and everybody loves him, but you have Mr. Freeze that is a super cool villain. You have like a Two-Face that the guy is a politician. So it's touching like real life too, and the guy has these conflicted emotions with him, like he doesn't know what to do, so it's kind of crazy. He always uses the coin. Then you have like a Catwoman that is sometimes is bad, sometimes is good. So Batman villains are like so complex. And people always give credit to the Joker and kind of don't give them enough credit to the other ones. And I think they are equal important and super cool as well. I don't know.
The only problem I have is that the lineup for Spider-Man's villains would wipe the floor with Batman's villains. Like the reason why I think Justice League doesn't even bother with Gotham City because it's not worth their time. As Iron Man would say, it's not in our pay grade. They look at that and say, okay, Batman, you got that. You got that. You know, like Superman would have that place cleaned up in a jiffy. Like, seriously. Like, nobody there has superpowers. Like, there's just
Clayface, Man-Bat.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, but Electro
So, I mean, Sandman and Clayface, right? That's a matchup, right? Yeah. So then, Green Goblin and Joker, right? Yeah. Killer Croc and who's the guy you mentioned? Rhino, maybe.
Rhino.
Mr. Freeze and
Rhino.
Sandman.
They have like an equal.
Yeah, like
Like, keep going down the list. Who matches up with Venom? Who matches up with
Dr. Octopus and Venom? Oh wait, no, sorry, it's same. Yeah.
Yeah, same side. Like,
yeah.
As soon as you start throwing the symbiotes, game over.
Yeah. No, they're stronger villains, but Batman's villains are more interesting.
You think so?
Yeah.
Psychologically, yeah. Like,
because that's all they got.
Okay, what's Scorpion's motivation?
He doesn't have motivation.
What's Electro's motivation?
For hire.
Well, it depends on what decade. But if you're talking initially, all of Spider-Man's foes wanted to rob banks. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, Sandman. They made him interesting in the movie, but he's never been that interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like maybe they are cooler and they have more cool powers. Yeah, because they have superpowers and stuff like that. But intellectual wise, like Batman villains are deeper.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Rhino, it's just because he's got a suit stuck to him, isn't it? I mean, that's not great.
Right. All right. Let's talk about ultimate villain crossover. If you had a choice to see a DC or Marvel villain, or let's open it up, any two villains to do a crossover that you want to see do like a story based on them going at it. You know, kind of like Jason or Freddy.
Villain versus villain.
Yeah, villain versus villain. What crossover would you like to see? Anybody?
Well, playing off what you just said, I'm thinking Jason and Michael have two quiet guys just trying to kill each other.
There you go.
Everyone else will have dialogue, but they won't.
Oh no! They just make it a silent movie. Just make it a black and white silent movie.
Okay,
you can swap out Lex Luthor and Kingpin and just see if anybody notices.
Because I was thinking someone to pair up with Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is like my favorite villain from this universe of DC because he's a smart guy, and I really like guys that they don't have superpowers, but they can beat everybody just with their brain. That's like super cool. But I'm thinking who is the equivalent to that on Marvel? So Kingpin is very smart, but I think
because they're both bald. Yeah.
No, but I think Lex Luthor is even smarter, and so who could be like the equivalent, like a Lex Luthor in the Marvel universe?
Iron Man.
Yeah, but he's a good guy.
Dr. Doom.
Doom. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, he's a very smart guy too. So imagine but Dr. Doom also have a strange powers. Okay, that could be like a good go at each other, guys.
I'm gonna run with Mustafa. I love the Kingpin Luthor combo because it's corporate America versus underground criminal America.
Yeah.
It's
which we all know work hand in hand anyway.
Yeah, corporate versus black market. Like that'd be it might be a little bit droll because we'll start throwing out a lot of business terminology, but that'd be real cool. That's kind of like what's going on now with currency and crypto.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool one. That's a very cool one. Jamie picked the silent era. He wants to see a horror silent film. John, do you have a mashup?
Green Goblin and Joker. That'd be awesome. Or another one, a deeper cut. Okay, Mysterio and the Spook. Anybody remember the Spook?
Yeah.
I think they bumped him off a couple of years ago, but he was an interesting villain that they kept throwing in there and he never got hot, but he was a cool thing because was he dead? Was he alive? Was he an escape artist? How did he do all this stuff? And yeah, I always thought that'd be cool for a Spider-Man Batman team up against the two of them.
And just because why not? Imagine Catwoman, Black Cat. Just throw of them. Two cat ladies killing at each other.
Yep.
What about oh god, I had it. Thanos versus Darkseid.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
The Kirby Battle of the Century. Who would win? Thanos or Darkseid?
Dark Side.
I think. I think Darkseid.
It's got to be Darkseid. The Omega Rays, right? Thanos doesn't get powerful unless he acquires the gauntlet, right?
Plus, I always seemed Darkseid was a little bit more manipulative, a little sharper. I always thought, you know.
Maniac Killer as well.
What about what's the shark guy in DC? What's his name? That's going to
Killer
be
Shark?
Killer Shark and Rhino.
King Shark, right?
King Shark.
King Shark, okay. Yeah, but there was also Killer Shark, too, at one point. Back in Superman villain. I don't know if it's the same guy or what, but there was also Killer Shark.
Right. Cool. All right, guys, it's 4:00, so we're going to do a reset. Guys, we've just been talking about villains and bouncing around a little bit on that topic for the last hour. We want to thank you guys for sticking around with us. Just to reset, this is Artist Alley Live. We're here with some of your comic book and artist greats, Marvel and DC artist inker Mustafa Musa, Barbie art director Francine Delgado, the villainous villain specialist Jamie Coker, and Punisher and X-Men artist John Hebert. So we want to thank everybody for coming. You're probably watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, or on the Collector's Toy Shop. We see your comments, and we're going to get to them in your questions in just a moment. But we want to show you some of the featured art prints that we have today that are available for you. So let's walk through them real quick. We got Bob McLeod's Spider-Man Craven Hunt Part 5. We have Chad Harden's Joker. Francine, you weren't here the first time we rolled this. What's the story on this one?
Oh, this one is like the ultimate DC combo for bad girls, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And this is part of a crossover of universe that I did. That what if the Batman and the Sailor Moon universe were cross, and they were like the same universe. So I did like Sailor Pamela and Sailor Harley.
So just out of curiosity, we got the Batman ones, but who's the Sailor Moon characters they're mashed with?
This is Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Mars.
There you go. All right, moving on to the next one. We've got Jamie Coker's Planets Reimagination. We've got James C. Mulligan's Bugs Bunny versus the Crusher. I'm sorry, I got to do that every time.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, like,
Oh my God!
we got Bizarro Happy, Bizarro Sad by Joe Rubenstein. We've got John Hebert's Planet Comics.
Because he loved snakes.
Ugh.
So apparently, Mustafa, when Joe was here and we showed this one, he said you owe him $1. What's the story on this one?
That's totally fine. The story on this one, when I would go to shows, people would ask this character more than any that I didn't have. And I'm like, I need to hurry up and make a Thanos. But I wanted to do Thanos and Mistress Death. They call her Lady Death, but that's a different character. Mistress Death in the comics. This was before Thanos really showed up in the Marvel Universe, but I was like, I got to hurry up.
What's
Oh, that was
happening?
fun.
What happened?
You know what? We should all play music before we leave. That's great. That's awesome. Oh no! Now Francine. What did I say? Oh no!
Oh, Mustafa, what did you do?
I don't know. I don't know. Can we bring him back?
I don't know. We're all
If we clap
frozen.
long enough. Okay. So Thanos, yeah. So anyway, it's one of my best sellers, and people seem to really like that dude when he tries to kill half the population.
Mustafa, you used the Infinity Stones and you blew up half. You blew up.
Yeah,
half the
I guess so.
Now I do owe him $1.
You got to do that, man, because that'd be so. Just hand him $1 and keep walking.
That's fine. I mean, I've worked on Wolverine too, so like, does that mean
$2
for that? Yeah. Okay.
$2. Don't pull up any gambit. So we're all back. Sorry about that, guys. Suddenly, the Infinity Stones got enacted. Mustafa snapped his artistic hand, and half of us disappeared. But we're back. So that's we got Mustafa's Thanos, and then finally we've got my Crypt Keeper. So, guys, our theme there was villains, and you're asking, how can I get some of these fine featured art prints? Well, we got 3 ways. Throw in your questions and comments. Each question and comment gets a draw. You could potentially win one of these babies if you're here at the end of the show. Number 2, put in claim in whichever one you want in terms of an art print. And Lovejeet, who's out there in the Etherverse, will take care of you. And number 3, go to MBartist.com and fill your cart. One of these 9. And whether you want an art print, a platinum, or a canvas, you will get free shipping with the code, very complicated, free shipping. So those are the 3 ways. Those are our featured prints. And guys, I wanted to share. Now, you guys, you've seen pieces of this, but I want to share something with you really cool. Check it out, guys. So as you know, we've been talking about what we do here at MBartist. As you can get art prints from us, you can get canvases, you can get platinums, and we have comics as well with our Golden Age tributes. We're now getting into toy packaging. So here's some samples of a couple pieces. One is Chad Harden's Boba Fett. The other is Jamie Coker's Shred. And what it is that we're getting into acrylics. So here I've got a couple samples here. So you can pick any one. Oops. So here's the acrylic. And as you can see, you can buy, this is just an example with established G.I. Joe, but you can get any one of these art pieces, and you can slide it in the back, and you can display it with your loose toys. So if you've got a Shredder or a Turtle or a Boba Fett, and you want a really cool display piece, this is what we've got for you. So we've got 2 sizes. We have the 3 3/4 inch, and then we have a larger one that I don't have with me right now. And these are going to be in our hot little hands and start showing up on the Lost Toy Box auctions the second week of June, and they'll be probably by the end of June available up on our website. So, guys, this is a new product item that's going to be coming down the pipe. Let us know what you think. We think they're pretty cool, and we're excited to start taking them out with us when the shows start coming. And actually, that's going to be kicking off in August. So, and also, here's another cool fact. We're going to start adding, if you request it, you can add a remark section and get one of our fine artists, whether it's at a show or you want to do it through the website. So if you get Jamie Coker's Shredder there and you say, I want an original Jamie remark, we can do that for you. Or if you get Mustafa's hot 80s mashup, and you say, I want Mustafa to throw another 80s character in there that's original, and I'm going to get my favorite character, you can do that too. John Hebert, his Punisher, real sick. If you want to get a Jigsaw or a villain like we've been talking about to complement that, you can get that too. Or Francine Delgado, if there's a mashup that she hasn't thought of and you got it, you can get her to do an original piece right there for you in the remark section. So that's going to be the next coolest thing coming down the MBartist pipeline. I'm very excited to start sharing with it. And I just got the email that the acrylics are going to be off the boat June 5th. So we're going to start rolling that out. And we hope you guys will join us as we start sharing some of your favorites in a cardback toy package style. All right, guys. So now it's we did all the housekeeping. Let's go through our comments here. And let's see what we've got. Basil says, and I think we touched base on this quick, but we'll go around real quick. We'll do rapid fire. Is there a villain you feel should have been portrayed as a hero? Let's go real quick around the horn. Mustafa.
Oh, man. You started with me. Let's see.
Well, you snapped out half the table, so I got to start with you.
That was me. That was totally me, wasn't it? The question is, who's the villain that should be a hero?
Yep.
Well, I mean, Lex Luthor thinks he's the hero of the story, you know.
Most of them do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people they're just like, you know, happy to tear everything down, but some people are like, no, I'm trying to save this world, like Luther and you know probably Red Skull too.
Always
Yeah, I
remember
don't know.
that closing scene.
Jamie, are you with
I've always
us?
been a
You
little
here?
partial to Ra's al Ghul.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's another one.
That's a cool one. John.
Yep.
A villain that should be a hero.
Oh boy. Again, I got to go with Poison Ivy. Somebody
Poison
like that, or Al Ghul. They did a story in the 80s where he was trying to save the world, just different machination.
Francine.
A villain that should be a hero. I think Catwoman, but she sometimes is a hero in her own way.
Who is it? Sorry, you blinked out on my screen real quick.
The Catwoman, like the Batman love interest that is a thief.
I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to say Cobra Commander. If he knew after the riot there that he just had to go to the front door and knock, I think that probably be a good one.
And if we are talking about animation, I think a villain that is very misunderstood is the Mother Gothel of the Rapunzel movie, Tangle. She shouldn't be a villain. She was just a lady that was minding her own business, like not stealing, but keeping a flower by herself. When the king comes and snatch her flower and give her to her wife to save the wife's life, but the flower didn't belong to the king, so they're not king. And now the poor lady has to kidnap a little girl. Maybe that is not the best thing she could do, but she wasn't that bad of a girl at the beginning. So she's just a misunderstood bad stepmom.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Rolling down. Basil loves Frankenstein's Joe. Luke says, have you ever watched a show and just said to yourself, I have to draw that? John.
Yeah. There have been a lot of things, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Probably some crime scene from Hill Street Blues or something, or there was a pier scene on Banachek that I loved, and I said I got to swipe that at some point. Never got to.
I know one thing that jumps to my mind that you were just itching to draw, and that was when we were going to do Crisis. You had your cover in mind just like that.
Oh yeah.
Mustafa, is there anything that you said yourself that you saw? I just got to draw that.
Yeah, Transformers and Ninja Turtles. When I saw that as a kid, I was like, I want to draw that. I want to draw that all the time, and that's what I did. I just drew that all the time growing up before I knew anything about comics. Yeah.
Very cool. Francine.
Like all the time when I'm watching a TV show or something, and if I like it, I just like the other day I was finishing Invincible, the animated series, and I felt like, oh, I need to draw an atom myth. I have never drawn an atom myth before. Like it happens all the time. Like especially if I'm just watching a movie or a TV show, and like somebody told me like about the new season of Castlevania, and I go, oh, like you should do a Castlevania fan art, and like, oh, maybe I'm gonna watch the last season and see if I get into it, and I will do something.
Jamie, is there anything you ever watched on a show and just said to yourself, I have to draw that?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Of all things, there is a video on YouTube by a group called Bad Lip Reading, and it's called Seagull Stop It Now. Dude, I watched that thing once, and then I watched it like 5 or 6 more times. It got stuck in my head, and I showed it to Trisha, and she was like, well, you need to draw that now. So that was one of the most vivid instances in my mind, for sure.
I remember when episode 1 first came out, the Darth Maul I hadn't seen episode 1 hasn't even come out yet, but all the packaging and the art and the trailers and just the design of them was so cool. For whatever reason, I did a drawing of him surrounded with a bunch of aliens, like the alien. I just thought that would be like if you're gonna have someone go against a bunch of aliens, I thought that would be so cool with the double bladed and everything. I thought so. I did like a piece on that real quick, long time ago. Cool. Okay, next one. We always were mentioning heroes and villains. Any preferred sidekicks? Favorite sidekick? Jamie.
Oh, well, gosh, I hate to do it, but Robin. Robin's probably the preferred sidekick for a lot of people. I mean, they've even spun him off into his own thing. Specifically, I would say my favorite Robin is obviously the Dick Grayson / Nightwing version
Dick
of the character.
Did you just say Dick Rules?
Yeah, it's his name. It's not. I didn't name him. It's not my fault.
Written on the wall of the firehouse. So there you go.
Anyway, sorry, Jamie.
You have my permission to use it on the next week, and I will say it again.
Oh my God! Eric, you got to use that for next week's promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have my permission to use it.
Last week on MBartist.
When we last saw MBartist.
Jamie, do you want to finish that thought on Dick?
Also, use that one too.
Sorry, let me clarify. Richard Grayson. Nope.
Oh my gosh. Dude, Joe leaves and then this. Oh, come on.
I'm so sorry.
That is not our fault. It's the guy's name.
Go on,
We gotta cut the commercial, don't we? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Leave me behind. Save yourselves. Mustafa, favorite sidekick.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow with that. Let's see. How about Microchip? How about Microchip? Punisher's guy in the van.
Yeah.
Who's Microchip?
Microchip is Punisher's guy in the van. He's a guy. He lost his family, but he knows stuff with computers.
Oh, the guy in the chair.
On, yeah, the guy in the chair. Exactly.
Microchip. I didn't know his name was Microchip.
Yeah.
Then he had Chip Jr. and then his son was killed. So it kind of renewed the passion for the war.
Yeah, he's a Punisher, but without the abilities.
Cool. John.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
He
off
even
the
turned
board
against
here and
them.
go Kato. How about Kato?
Kato. There you go. Fran.
So you know who's my favorite? Dick Grayson.
Okay. Actually, all right.
Not going there.
What?
Nope.
Nope, we're good. We're out.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Nope.
There you go. There's a Kato right there for you. Jamie Coker's Green Hornet recreation.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with R2. Yeah. I thought the sequel trilogy completely, like, if you were gonna go with BB, I love the BB-8 character. There was no R2D2, and the whole thread of George Lucas was that all 9 movies, 3PO and R2 were the witnesses, and they completely blew that out of the water with the sequel trilogy, trying to introduce a new toy for the market. I love the new toy. It's a great concept, the rolling ball and everything, but it completely lost the thread of stringing all 9 movies together, which doesn't really matter because the sequel trilogy in real time probably lasts about 2 weeks. So, anyways, I have a Nightwing comic that would make an awesome art piece. There you go, Nick. Nick says he's looking for someone Avatar: The Last Airbender art. Anybody here have any Avatar art? Jamie, you must have an Avatar. Oh, Jamie just left his photo.
Oh,
Do you know how they in the Oscars or and here's the nominees and a couple of them are like photos.
yeah.
I think we just got that with Jamie there. Anyways, I think I got on top of all of our questions for this week, guys. All right, let's do the draw. Let's saner heads are starting to prevail.
Yeah, right.
Here comes the lovely Love Jeet. All right. And the Oscar goes to, are you kidding? He won again? Is he here? Luke. Didn't he win last week? Luke, are you here? Say I win. Let's throw up the top 9. I think Luke won last week. Someone roll back the tape.
But he keep asking questions, so he keep getting in the role.
I know. I think we lost a lot of our German contingent. Okay, last call for Luke. Luke Holbrook, are you here? Luke going once. Luke going twice. I'm about to pick another one.
Use the Force, Luke.
I bet you his internet probably froze too. All right, so
No,
I'm looking at Holbrook, or didn't he just win too? Basil, first one to say I win. Basil or Luke Holbrook? Basil or Luke Holbrook? I know Basil was last on at 3:50 and Luke was last on at 3:38. Because that's when they made their comments. Basil, Luke, first one to say I went. There we go. There's Basil. Basil, congratulations. You want to pick your print?
Oh no.
Oh, Luke. Luke, we waited for you. Basil picks the arm. Okay, help me out, Basil. I need a little bit more than an arm flex.
Which one could be the
Which one did last week? The winner was James Mulligan's Doctor Strange. This week, Basil is. Sorry, Luke. Basil just beat you. Oh, look at that. Basil's giving it to Luke. That's sportsmanship, ladies and gentlemen. Basil is not a villain. He's a hero. All right, Luke, pick your print. Basil, is very nice of you, my friend. Thank you very much. Luke, pick your print, my friend. And guys, I don't know if you saw it, but Luke posted a bunch of original art and prints that he got off us. And so did Nick Larkin. There you go. There's Nick. Nick bought a bunch of prints of us and did a post for us on Facebook. And Luke did a post on the Collector's Toy Shop. So, guys, thank you very much for showing us your collection. We really do appreciate it. And we
so nice.
Helping you guys keep building that up. So we're just waiting for Luke to pick his print. Luke. Anyways, while we're waiting on Luke to pick his print. Any closing thoughts on villains? Here's one. Favorite. What do we got here? Who's sharing this?
Oh, sorry, sir. This is me. This is like something I was doing today, just because I saw this. You know that there is a Brazilian model that the new Wonder Woman was inspired on her. Sujani Moreira. So I was looking that she posted some pictures on her Instagram dressed as a Yara Flor, and I just have to make a sketch based on the actual model that was used to be the inspiration for the new Wonder Woman of Future State, Yara. So yeah,
it's a great pose. Luke picks Thanos. There you go, Mustafa.
Oh, cool.
Luke picture Thanos, and Nick says, "I plan on building it up. Eventually, want to get Francine's derby picture." Nick, if you check out either MBartist.com or FrancineDelgado.com, there's a lot of derby pictures. So there's a lot there for you guys to sink your teeth into, and we thank you all for watching. So before we go, 2 questions. Number 1, we'll start with you, Mustafa. Any shows coming up?
Yeah, actually, I have an appearance this weekend up in Dallas. This card show, and cards are just crazy lately. And let's see. Then next week, I am going to Florida for Suncoast Comic Con. I'll be seeing some friends of mine I haven't seen in a year and a half. I'm really excited.
Thank you for rubbing it in for us who are still in lockdown. Anything on the table you want to show off?
Oh, downstairs. Oh, you know what? I found something that's actually really cool here. I'm like, I think as Jimmy last week. Okay, there we go. I found one of my TMNT prints, one of my old ones, signed by the co-creator here. He saw it at a show, and he's like, "Man, this is awesome!" And he wrote, "Your work is awesome." It was little Kevin Eastman.
That's awesome. That is very cool. Did he ask who threw the throwing stars?
He did, and I told him.
Oh, fine. So you have to be the creator in order to get some straight answers around here. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. All right. Okay, moving on. Jamie, do you have any shows coming?
I think I have a show not this week, but week after next, I think, in Davenport, Iowa. But I was gonna show the comic cover I did finally came out, so I got some complimentary copies of that. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. Pretty cool. Nice
Well
to have
done,
them in
Jim.
hand, you know.
Yeah. And Francine, what's on your drawing board? We saw the one. You got anything else you want to show us?
Well, no, not much this week. This has been a crazy week. I'm in the middle of moving. I'm moving to a new apartment, so my house is a mess, and I haven't been time to go lately. But hopefully, when I move next week, I will have more stuff to share.
And Fran will have a new background. John, what's on your drawing board?
Say goodbye to this one.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Ooh, nice.
John,
this one is lovely, John. Lovely.
John, do you have the Micronauts one there?
I don't have it handy. I'll have it for next week.
Okay. Did you get my note?
You
on
like
the
that one, huh?
Oh, that's
No,
sick.
I didn't.
So I need you to add some space to the top and bottom because of the height. It doesn't fit.
Okay.
Guys, just to let you know, Luke Holbrook got his tickets for UltraCon. Luke, come visit us because MBartist, we're going to have everybody there. Well, except for Chad. We're going to have everybody else but Chad there at UltraCon in West Palm Beach, August 28th and 29th. And we are coming armed. What the bloody blue blazes is that?
That's my little boy's work. He wanted to show it.
Oh! Well, get up here and show it, man.
Come here, pal.
See,
there you go.
talk to us about this piece. What is it?
What is it, buddy? Tell us about it.
Croczilla versus the Shadow Cat.
Croczilla versus Shadow Cat. Okay.
Wow.
Nice. So the reason why I said that was because I was like, that is so superior to John's work.
It is.
How does it feel to blow past
So
your
now
dad?
you're a Marvel editor, too. So now you're a Marvel editor, too.
Yep, there you go.
I am Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we will be at UltraCon, and we are bringing an UltraCon exclusive. Everybody here, except for me, because I never have time, is doing a exclusive for UltraCon, and it's going to be Wiz Comics. Luke, if you got the VIP, you're probably going to get some Wiz. You're going to get some Wiz in your bag, courtesy of
Wiz.
courtesy of one of these fine artists. Mustafa and Francine are comboing on a cover. It looks really great. Mustafa, where we're at with that? You got the inks all done, ready to go to color?
Yeah, pretty much. I just gotta scan it and whatnot. Yeah, it's pretty much done.
Yes,
John,
scan it and send it back to me, please.
Absolutely.
John got his. His was done like months ago. He was so excited about doing this. He had his drawn, inked, and sent off for coloring months ago. And Jamie, we were talking a little bit about it last week about your exclusive for UltraCon. Is that he even had a dream about it? He was doing some Martin Luther King.
Yeah. Oh God.
Maybe he had a dream.
No, I don't really dream about anything when I go to sleep at night, but for whatever reason, this cover's just been in my head.
Nick is fearful for Luke what he's getting into his VIP bag. So the VIP is going to have some whiz in it. So we're definitely looking forward to being there. And I hope you guys are excited as well because the shows are starting to unravel. Dates are starting to come down. I know I talked to most of you. Mustafa, I know I need to talk to you because there's some new dates that got landed from Fan Expo.
Okay.
We're going to be at okay. I have no idea what that was.
Get hacked?
I think we just got hacked. Anyways, it's 4:31. Guys, I want to thank you very much. We kind of got rambled on there on the end there. I think as soon as we found out Francine's favorite sidekick, it just kind of went off the rails. Or was it when Mustafa snapped out?
I just want to make the declaration that it's not just mine, it's Jamie's and mine.
Oh, okay. It's a shared sidekick. Okay. Moving on behalf of Mustafa, John, Jamie, and Francine, I want to thank everybody for joining us for the last half hour on YouTube, on Facebook, and on the Destroy Box. And before we go, Jamie, what do we suggest everybody do?
Like, comment, subscribe.
There you go. From the Great White North and all points in between, Houston, Minnesota, Vancouver, and Albany. Good night.